Let's take you live now to somewhere near the front line, near Ajdabiya. Al Jazeera's James Bays is there. James?
Yes, Adrian, let me give you the exact geography, because this is virtually the front line. You can go about 300 metres further up this road. We went there, but when we were up there, we came under missile attack, probably Grad missiles being fired, although there's also tank rounds coming from Gaddafi's forces. This is about 9 kilometres from Ajdabiya, that key town that's been fought over the last couple of days and has seen battles for well over a week now. The latest situation is that these forces are trying to proceed beyond this point, but they haven't really moved much in some 24 hours. They get news from the Gaddafi side that maybe the Gaddafi troops want to surrender, and yet then they come under attack again. So they believe that that is probably some sort of trick. We understand that there are special forces who've gone forward. We've heard some explosions literally in the last couple of minutes and seen some smoke on the horizon. That is the opposition forces trying to dislodge Gaddafi's troops. The problem for the opposition is they're here in large numbers, but they do not have the heavy weaponry that Gaddafi's side have. They have some rockets, they have rocket-propelled grenades, and they have small arms. They have many more people, but they don't have the power. And the other problem that they have, Adrian, is they don't really have any communications at all. They have a handful of radios. Mobile phones in this area don't work at all. So it's very, very primitive. Basically, fighters are heading up the road, seeing what's going on, coming back and telling their comrades further away from the front line, and that's how they're passing information. Having said all that, the opposition fighters say that Gaddafi's men may have all the weapons that they want, but they have the determination, and they say they are going to retake Ajdabiya. One fighter I was speaking to a moment ago said they'll retake it in just hours.
Are those government forces you talk about just up the road there from you, what exactly are they doing? Are they the people who are lobbing shells into to Ajdabiya, or do you think that they're there to stop the opposition fighters getting closer to those involved in the assault on Ajdabiya?
Well, I think they probably are forces that have been involved in both. I think they originally were the forces that were trying to take Ajdabiya, trying to control Ajdabiya, and I think now they may well be trapped, but they're certainly still firing at the troops here, firing missiles, firing tank rounds at these troops here. And what I think we all ought to think about is Ajdabiya itself and the civilians of Ajdabiya, because they've had battles going on here now for days and days on end. You can hear some explosions behind me now, Adrian. They've had battles going on for days and days on end. The hospital in Ajdabiya is damaged, it's closed, it's not operating. We understand that there are some people from Ajdabiya. Let me just show you, you can hear the explosions, let me just show you where that one landed. It's really not that far ahead of us, and you can see the smoke there in the distance, Adrian. Now, it's very hard to tell. One of the problems in this fluid situation is who, even the troops here don't even know whether it's their own fire or the other side sometimes. And as soon as you hear a thud, everyone is working out, was that incoming, was it outgoing, who actually fired it before they move forward. It's a very, very confused and fluid situation. And I think one of the main problems, as I said before, for the opposition is they really don't have any communication or coordination of their forces.
And amidst all of that confusion, James, any sign of coalition aircraft in the skies above?
Yes, there's a sign of coalition aircraft, and that is that we're hearing them. We're certainly hearing them above. We're even speculating that some of the thuds we're hearing in the distance may be airstrikes. They're not particularly loud, but obviously we don't know exactly where they're striking and how far they are away from here. But it's impossible really to tell, with all the bangs and all the explosions that we're hearing, whether they're coming from the air, whether they're coming from Western aircraft, whether they're coming from Gaddafi's tanks, or whether it's the opposition fighters, much more lightly armed, firing their rockets in that direction. It's a confused and fluid situation, but the bottom line is this: the front line remains about where it was 24 hours ago.
James, many thanks indeed. James Bays reporting live there from that front line close to Ajdabiya.